Money, 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 money. More money, more problems. Gotta have more money. For the love of money. Money! It's a big topic. It's a big reason why we do what we do every single day. Let me shift your perspective just a little bit and tell you why your happiness should be in the forefront of your mind as opposed to the money. The money's supposed to be the byproduct. Happiness. Put an emphasis on that. Let's get into the antidote today. But before we get too deep talking about why money shouldn't be the first thing that goes to your mind, do me a favor. Make sure you have already subscribed to this YouTube channel. Make sure you bang that notification bell with your Thor hammer to make sure you get notified every time I drop a video. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. And drop a comment below to let me know how you truly feel. Let's go ahead and get into the antidote. Today's topic is going to be based off of inspiration, the process of being mentally stimulated to do or feel something, especially to do something creative. Now, today, I'm going to be flat out honest with you. I just may lose some people because there are going to be some people out there that will not agree with what I'm going to be talking about in the Dose House today. And you know what? I'm completely fine with that. Because why? Because growth happens in the disagreement. I am here to have a discussion today with you guys to try to change your perspective because I think some of the dosers out there, and don't worry, I'm not above myself. I was like this at one point in time too, was putting money as the priority. So today we're going to talk about something different. We're going to talk about chasing happiness and not money. Now, a lot of people, trust me, I know a lot of people's like, skirt, let me just moonwalk my way out the Dose House today because I got some money to go get. Hear me out. Just hear me out for a second. You're talking to somebody that's got a lot of experience. And you're talking to somebody that came up from nothing and made a whole lot of something of himself. And for a great period of that time, I was chasing money. But when I changed my perspective, oh man, let me tell you something. When you chase happiness, when you chase your goals, you got to realize that money's going to be the byproduct of that. And it's not going to be the whole purpose. See, when I was on the road just chasing money, and that was the primary thing, I wanted to chase the money. I need the money. I need the money to do this. I need the money to do that. Things weren't working out so great. And so today I have 3 reasons or some tips or some whys to try to help you to change your perspective and put something else in the forefront of your mind as opposed to the money that just may help you out a little bit. So let's go ahead and get into the antidote.
Today's topic is going to be based off of perseverance. It's a noun meaning steadfastness in doing something despite difficulty or delay in achieving success. Accomplish your goals by any means necessary.
All right, let's talk about why you should choose happiness over money, right? Happiness over money. So the first thing is understand that money buys temporary pleasures and happiness. Temporary. If you don't believe me, check this out right here. So think about your latest digital device, the device that's probably in your hand right now. Is it an iPhone? Is it an Android? Let me ask you, is it one of the latest models, the one with the 3 cameras on the back or the super 4K, 5K screen or anything like that? Do you recall a point in time where it was none of that? Do you recall a point in time maybe 2-3 years ago where it only had one single camera and a few less features and maybe didn't go as fast? Let's rewind a little bit further than that. Do you remember the one before that? Was it like was it a Model 7 or 8 or something like that? Let's go back a few years before that. Do you remember when it was a 5 or a 6 or maybe a 4 or a 3 or a 2? Do you recall how much money you spent on these items? Do you recall? Is it somewhere in the 500 plus range? I mean, right now I know they're upwards of like 800 and all the way up to like, $1,200-$1,300 right now. Do you remember that? Now, you remember it, but it's a far cry and a far fetch. You don't even remember the features that were on it. Let's take phones out of the equation. Let's think about computers. Let's think about TVs. Remember, we had like tube TVs. Then they went to the flat designs where they had like plasma, and then they had LCD. Then they went to like an LED. Then they went to a OLED TV. Now there's like more technology, and it went from 720p to 1080p to 4K to now it's on like 6K. And you remember we bought all these items, and what have they done for us? They have depreciated. They are a thing that we've never really thought about. We can't really talk about the specs because we really don't think about them because they were an afterthought. Remember clothes and fashion and things like that, the things that you used to wear. You remember spending like 150, 180, maybe 200 $200 on some jeans, or maybe a whole bunch of money on some shoes and this and that. Where are those shoes and those jeans right now? Are they afterthought, or did you spend so much money, you spent all your money on them? You said, I'm keeping these. I'm going to treasure these forever. The point that I'm trying to make is, understand that these things cause temporary pleasures. You can barely remember. They are a figment of your imagination right now. You wouldn't dare have those things right now. They have already depreciated, right? And we worked so hard and spent all that money on those things that during the time we were really happy when we got it. We got the newest, we got the latest. And then the next thing you know, it was played out already. So the money was buying you temporary stuff that you barely even remember. Now understand this. I'm pretty sure there were some times in your life that you were truly, truly, truly happy, and money may have had something to do with it, but it wasn't the primary reason that you did it, that you can remember just like this. And I'll give you a few examples of mine in the next anecdote. But number one, that's the primary reason why you need to understand that it's temporary pleasures and happiness. So don't chase the money for temporary pleasures. Chase it for long-term sustainable happiness and pleasures, which leads me right into number two. There are a lot of millionaires that are still unhappy. Understand that. See, a lot of us are chasing money because we want to become $100,000 heirs and millionaires. And so I know I got some people out there that maybe want to be billionaires, right? They chasing this money. What do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish? I want to be a millionaire. Like some of y'all are out there, right? But then understand this. Why do millionaires commit suicide? I'm just curious. They're millionaires. Wouldn't you imagine them to be extremely happy? They're a millionaire, for God's sakes, right? They're a millionaire. They're billionaire. Why do they commit suicide? Why do they kill themselves? Why do they drive themselves crazy? They got all the money in the world. They can do whatever they want. They're still unhappy. Let me tell you, I'm currently sitting in probably the biggest and best house that I've ever had in my life. And guess what? I still have stress. I still have moments of unhappiness and uncertainty and all this crazy kind of stuff. It's just, I'm making, with everything that I have going on, probably the most money that I have in my life. But my happiness has not a lot to do with money. Like, my happiness stays right here. I'm so glad we can see it. Usually when I go forward, it's like the ring light messes up and it blurs it all out. But and looking at all this stuff right here, money's just, I don't even think that out of all these things on here, money's on here one time. And see, I'm simple sometimes. Sometimes, you ever heard the phrase, it's the little things? Like, hey, when is the last time you ever, and I offered this advice in this consultation, seek happiness. Like, literally write it down, what makes you happy, and then start working on that stuff. Out of all these things that make me happy, money is only one thing in here, and I haven't even expanded on it because it's tied to something else, meaning it's minuscule, meaning it's a byproduct, meaning it's not the end all be all. It will not ultimately make my life fulfilling. Am I making a little bit of sense to somebody out there? When you chase money, you're chasing the wrong things. I do recall a time in which I did create a goal that was tied to money. I said that I wanted to be a liquid millionaire. I went ahead and started doing all this research. I went ahead and I sought out some very high-ranking, important people when it comes to the financial world for consultation. And when it finally went down to it, I was investing so much time in chasing the bag that I just really sat there and I thought about it for a second. And let me tell you, I am a goal-oriented person. When I say goal-oriented, I mean like it's ingrained in me. Like, I might as well tattoo it on me. That was the only goal that I had ever recanted in my life. The only goal that I had ever taken away and said, you know what? Nope, don't want to do that. It was tied to money. And you know why I tied it away? Because chasing money literally drove me mentally crazy. I was just doing so many things, nothing unethical or unmoral or anything like that. But it was just, it was all I was focused on all the time, and it was literally driving me crazy. So I said, money isn't worth my sanity. Let me just take that away. I don't like the thought of all this, the road that I'm traveling down. It just doesn't make sense for me mentally, right? But then came across a good friend who changed my perspective. And I know some of you guys are like, again, I know I may lose some people today, but don't worry. My vibe attracts my tribe. I know who my people are and the people that feel me on this. I ran into Dr. Natalie Phillips, and we became great friends, and we have great conversations. And she changed my perspective and said, Markiss, you need to get that back. And I said, Doc, I don't want it back. It gets me in this weird place mentally that I just don't like to be. And she says, Markiss, let me change your perspective. She says, Markiss, the reason that you should probably get that goal back is because I know I've grown to know you, and I know deep inside that you are the genuine person that when you accomplish that, you're the type of person that's going to give back. See, the great millionaires that wasn't focused on the money, the people that accomplished those things, that got to that millionaire status, they did it because money wasn't the focus. Their goal, their dreams, their ambition, their happiness was the focus. And it just so happened by chasing their happiness that money was the byproduct to allow them to be able to become a millionaire. And you know what they did when they became a millionaire? They started giving back. See, the great millionaires are the ones that actually mentor people, that help people. And it's what's really crazy is if you actually Google how to become a millionaire, you'll come across some articles and they will tell you millionaires love to be mentors. They love to help other people and uplift other people and bring them up. Not all, but some. Some of them are stingy. They don't want to give you the knowledge. They don't want to give you the 411. They don't want to give you the info. They want you to stay down there so they can separate themselves from you. But the true legit millionaires, they're the ones that want to uplift you and bring them up there. Jay-Z and Oprah said it. It's lonely at the top. When you make it to the top, it ain't a lot of people that's willing to sacrifice and do all those things to get to where they're at. So it's kind of lonely. And people don't like being lonely. They want to bring you up there with them. And so you know what? She was absolutely right. I am the type of person. I've always said, I don't play the lottery. I don't play the big millionaire jackpot or anything like that. But I always said, if it ever got to that point where I received an abundance of money, the absolute first thing that I would do is I would seek out Pastor Gary Grogan in Urbana, Illinois, and I would give him a handsome amount of money to help contribute to his cause because he's one of the best pastors that I ever met in my life and changed my perspective several years ago on how people should treat people and what the church should be like. He's a phenomenal human being. Never met anybody like him. That was the first thing I would do. I wouldn't buy my mama a house. I wouldn't go buy some fancy car. I wouldn't go invest in business. I would seek out Pastor Gary Grogan and go give him a handsome amount of money to fund his cause. He's all about missions and other people. It's all about everybody else with him, and I love him for it. So she's absolutely right. That would make me so happy. Knowing him, he probably declined half of it. Like, no, Marcus, you don't need to do this. I mean, he's just that kind of guy. Let me go ahead and get into number 3 so we can get on with the show. Number 3, feelings and experiences last a whole lot longer. Now, this is tied into the first reason that we talked about today. You want to chase these feel-good vibes and these feel-good feelings. Now, I want to share something with you. And the first thing that I know some people are going to do, they're going to think it's a little bit contradictory, but there is a more to the story, and I want you to understand the intent behind it. There are some feelings and there are some thoughts that are inside your head right now that no matter how long you live, you can live to be 100 and something years old, you will never forget how you felt when something happened. I'm going to show you guys a very short clip. I believe this clip is probably only about 6 or 7 seconds, so do me a favor and pay very close attention. But this is a feeling that I will never forget in my entire life, and I'll tell you the story behind it. Pay close attention. Check this out. Okay. So that right there was when Maela saw the Eiffel Tower for the first time. I envisioned this in my mind before it happened. You know, we ended up walking a few miles to get there, so everybody was dead tired, and we were just like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to get to this place. You know, it's so crowded in Paris and everything. It was summertime, and we just said we just want to explore and check out the scenery and everything, and I just wanted to see her face. The crazy thing about this is I had my cell phone in one hand, and I had my Canon camera in the other hand, and she saw the Eiffel Tower before I even did. It was just so important to me to capture her facial expression when she saw the Eiffel Tower for the first time. Now, what I didn't tell you behind that is when I created the goal of wanting to go international and travel the world, Paris scared me. You know, your goals has got to be so big and your why's got to be powerful and all this kind of stuff. I even asked Maela several months before we even chose the destination. I even recorded it. It's on my Snapchat. It's archived and everything. I said, Maela, if you can go anywhere in the entire world, where would you want to go? And this was when she was 10 years old. She was 9 at the time. I said, where would you want to go? She said, Paris. And I said, well, why would you want to go to Paris? She says, because I want to see the Eiffel Tower and I want to get some macaroons. And I was like, what do you know about macaroons at 9 years old? I don't even know about macaroons. You know what I mean? So we booked Paris. It was crazy. It was mad expensive. But what was crazy was I wasn't chasing the money. I was chasing my goals. And what's crazy is when you are in alignment with your goals, things just happen. Because when I looked up how much it costs to go to Paris, I was like, wow, this is a lot of money. I don't think maybe I should switch to another destination or something. But when I was in alignment, when my why was powerful, when I wanted to make sure that she got to see the Eiffel Tower and she got to eat some macaroons, I wanted to be there to provide those experiences. The money was just a byproduct. That's all that was. The money was the byproduct. But this feeling of accomplishment, of her seeing this, will be something that I will remember till the day that I die. One of my most memorable moments in my entire life. Now you're like, Markiss, but you needed money to go ahead and do this, right? It was very expensive. You had to grind and this and that. The money wasn't my focus. You want to know what ended up happening? Not only did I become more sharper, not only did I become more keen, not only did it help me become a better leader, not only did it help me to focus, not only did it help me to change trajectories and help other people to accomplish their goals, and helping other people, it helped me to accomplish my goal. So money wasn't the focus. The experience was the focus. And I was able to accomplish something that I will never forget in my life that made me extremely happy. And money was the byproduct of that. Money was not the focus. See, had money been the byproduct of it, I would have probably, I'm a good person. I have great morals and ethics, but it would have steered me in a different direction to where I was just only focused on the money. Then I become frantic and just and itchy, and not itchy like dirty, but just, you know how it is. Like you hear people say, man, my fingers are itching, my fingers are tingling, and it must be money. I'm about to hit the light. Like I would have become like that. It would have threw me off my game. My character would have been way out of contact. It just wouldn't have worked out probably the way I wanted to. But when I put the goal, when I put the experience, when I put the happiness in the forefront of my mind, the money became a byproduct. It made me become a better person because of the things that I was doing. My income was elevated to a point where I was able to accomplish this. So I wasn't so much focused on the money. I was focused on the experience and the happiness. Am I making sense out there? If somebody feels me out there, let me know in the comment section. Mr. Pertweet, are you feeling me?
Hallelujah.
I hope you guys are really feeling me on that. So let's go ahead and go down the checklist real quick for the people who came fast or be late. Understand, chase the happiness. The happiness will last for a long time. Number one, the money buys the temporary happiness and the material things. That's what I want to stress to you guys the most. It's the material things that become obsolete, that become outdated, and you don't even care too much to even think about it. If somebody were to walk in your presence with a material thing that's depreciated or outdated, you probably laugh at them right now. But we spent so much money at the time on those items because we were focused on the money or showing off how much money we had by buying those things. Dead it. Number two, millionaires are unhappy too. I'm not saying don't stop chasing your goals or your dreams of becoming a millionaire. I'm just telling you to shift your focus to something more powerful that has meaning, purpose, and emotion tied to it that will lead to much more than just tangible results. Focus on the intangibles, the things that you can't measure. How is your willpower? How is your work ethic? How are you in a leadership status? Because once those things elevate, that's going to help you to become the millionaire or billionaire or 100,000aire that you want to be. Am I making sense to anybody out there? Last but not least, understand that these feelings and experiences, they last a whole lot longer. I'm pretty sure when I was going over that, some of you guys actually had thoughts or experiences that you maybe didn't even have to spend a whole lot of money to accomplish those same type of experiences that I was just talking about right there. I know it went through your soul. Chase those feelings. I promise you, the more you get those in abundance, the more well off your life and happiness will be. Let me know in the comments if you agree, if you disagree. Let me know in the comments how you truly feel about the message today, because I'm here to change lives and offer different perspectives than you guys have probably experienced or thought about before. That's the whole premise of the dose, to help change people's lives. If you really felt this message today, do me a big favor, share this out. There are a lot of people whose lives need to be changed, a lot of people whose perspective needs to be changed, and I would love to help do that. Understand that I do what I do from the heart, and I don't expect anything in return. I'm a kid from the south side of Chicago that's here to just make the world smile and change people's lives. I hope y'all have a fantastic hump day. Peace.